Sony just unveiled PlayStation Vue, which is aimed to rival the traditional pay TV market. Now, it's a subscription TV service. It's in invite-only beta testing right now, but it may, when it rolls out officially next year, prompt a lot of consumers to cut the cord. Joining us now is Pete Paschal, technology editor at Mashable. Pete, thanks for joining us. What kind of deal has Sony worked out with the content providers for this?
Well, it's done a pretty good job. It's actually a really decent offering at the rollout. They've got CBS, Viacom, NBC Universal, and a few others. So they've got a good package of content, which is always a big challenge for these services that try to rival cable. The thing Sony has left out so far is exactly how much is this going to cost. Based on their ambition, which, as you said, is kind of a cord-cutting idea, it's probably going to be more comparable to TV cable than Netflix, the sort of $10 a month we're used to spending on that. But, you know, it's going to have a much, some kind of factor to make it more attractive than a cable package, and I don't quite see that yet.
And Sony is taking aim at TV providers by saying this is the future and the way to go, but I think you just touched on this, but let's dig into it a little bit more. You question that. Why?
Well, I mean, anything that sort of loosens the stranglehold cable providers have over how we sort of consume content is a good move for consumer choice. They've done some good things, like they have an innovative cloud DVR, so anything from the past 3 days that has been broadcast on any of their partners will be available to basically watch on demand. That's a good move. Other stuff can be saved for a month if you specifically designate it. These are very nice convenience features, but a lot of that is sort of moving in that direction anyway in this space, a lot of those features. So I haven't seen sort of an X factor, something that is like, oh wow, this is something I would completely cut the cord for. And you know, right now, again, their package doesn't include Disney. Their package doesn't include the sports channels. Now, they're working on that. Again, it's a decent offering for the beta, but once they begin the commercial release next year, they're going to have to sort of think about these other things, like the entirety of their package, their cost, and what their X factor is in terms of why would I get a PlayStation 4 or 3 and do this rather than just paying my cable company.
And now you just mentioned that there are certain missing links in their service right now. For example, Time Warner, ESPN, ABC missing right now. But what offerings would be game over for legacy providers?
I think sports is a big deal. If they can secure a very comprehensive sports package for an over-the-top service for one of these, you know, getting TV over the internet services, that would be a big game changer. You know, I'm sure they're working on it, but you know, that's the content providers. I mean, they hold all the keys to these kind of things. And you saw previously with Intel's service when they tried to do something similar, that was completely gutted because they couldn't work out these content deals. Because when you do work these out, generally the cost tends to be about the same as cable. So then you're like, well, if I'm just paying the same amount anyway, what's the big convenience that I'm paying for? And you know, with considering that cable packages your internet as well and often gives you competitive package pricing, it's a very hard thing for someone to come in with just one of these things, be it internet, be it TV, be it phone, and try to, you know, disrupt. But, you know, power to Sony. Like I say, anything that sort of can try to loosen the stranglehold over the experience is a win for consumer choice.
And Pete, in light of this whole discussion, I now have to ask you the big question. What does the future look like for traditional TV market, as well as the future for streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, potentially Sony's new offering?
Well, I think we're going to see a mix for a little while, but I mean, the technologies are getting so convenient to sort of relay your content from one device to another. People are expecting now, I want to see my shows on my iPad. I want to have Netflix on every possible device. And if I can have Netflix on every possible device, why can't I have my cable channels that I'm paying for on every device? Or how, you know, whether I'm paying for Sony or whatever. Sony is taking this into account in it's all going to be offering its service on iPads and at least in some limited form on mobile. So this is the expectation now, and basically anyone who doesn't offer this is going to be left behind. The cable companies are working on it, and basically most cable packages now offer some form of streaming onto mobile, sometimes in limited fashion. But whoever can sort of crack that code and sort of work out those deals to make sure people's content is everywhere on any device, regardless of where they are or what they're watching it on, I mean, that's going to be the people who win this space.
Pete Pasha, thanks for joining us. And thank you for watching. I'm Morgan Brennan. Have a great day.